Hello, I'm Cedric Burnside, and welcome to the Blues Kitchen.
Cedric Burnside from Holly Springs, North Mississippi, has hill country blues running through his veins. His new LP, Benton County Relic, pays homage to his deep musical roots, while simultaneously sounding like the past, the present, and the future. We discuss Cedric's childhood, playing drums for his grandfather, R.L. Burnside, from the age of 10, his formative years playing at Junior Kimbra's juke joint, and Cedric performs an incredible version of his grandfather's song, Skinny Woman. And while you're watching, subscribe to the channel for regular episodes of The Blues Kitchen Presents. Cedric.
Right, all right, man.
Welcome to The Blues Kitchen.
Thanks for having me.
Man, an absolute pleasure. How's things? How's your time in London, the UK?
It's been good so far. I've been here just for a couple of days, as of now, but it's been going really good. Did a couple shows, both of them been sold out, so that's a good thing.
More of the same tonight as well. Sell out everywhere you go at the moment.
Looking forward to it, man.
I saw you at Rough Trade doing your install the other night.
Yeah.
And that was, an amazing show for starters. But
Thank you.
We can't really have this conversation without saying about the Grammy nomination as well, because you're at the Grammys, and then next thing you know, you're on a flight from the West Coast over to the UK.
London, yeah.
Right? Straight in. So, it's a crime you didn't win. Did you have your gracious loser face on?
Yeah, I lost to one of the the best. One of the
It was Buddy Guy,
great
wasn't it?
legends, Buddy Guy. I listened to him. Growing up as a kid, because my big daddy R.L. Played the music with Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, all those cats. They actually played together
Really?
A couple of times on a few festivals, a few parties. But yeah, it was just an honor to be there and to be on the same lineup as Buddy Guy.
Well, I think it's a crime that the guys
going over
at the Grammys didn't award this to Best Blues Album. Because this, honestly, is one of the best blues records I've heard in the last, 5-10 years. I think it's brilliant.
Thanks a lot, man.
Benton County Relic, everyone. Here you go.
Means a lot to me.
To camera over here. But
that dirty crook right there, man.
But you know what? Let's open this up, because there's something written in here which I think kind of says it all. You put it in here. The sound. I don't know if you wrote this. Sounds like you did. I've been playing music my whole life. I started at the age of 7, wrote my first song at 12, and did my first tour at 13.
Yeah.
I began my music career playing in juke joints with my big daddy, R.L. Burnside, and Junior Kimbra. For many years, I watched and learned from them. Through this experience, I developed my own unique style of playing and writing music. I always do my best to stay loyal to that authentic style of true Mississippi hill country blues musicians that came before me. Raw, unorthodox, and with lyrics true to life.
Yeah, that's my heart and soul, man.
There you
that's
go.
My heart and soul.
Interview over. That says it all, right? But no, listening to this, it sounds to me, you have been truly loyal to the kind of North Mississippi sound, but it sounds like the present and the future at the same time. We always say, great records sound like the past, the present, and the future all at once. And how have you managed to kind of make a current record that still soaks up all of the tradition that you're surrounded by?
I imagine, just me being younger generation, you kind of have to keep up with the time, as these days, and kind of not forget where you come from. So that's sort of what I did with this album. I never forget where I come from, and I always have that old school feel in my music. But because I write new music all the time, I'm kind of keeping up with the modern time as well. Yeah. So I like to, for people to tell me that it sounds old but modern at the same time. I think that's exactly how it should sound. But all at the same time, I have to say, and I say it all the time, my heart and soul is the roots of the blues. That's where I come from. That's what I always heard as a kid, and it just found a special place in my heart. I love it.
So, obviously, it's not even like you'd listen to blues. It's part of your makeup.
It's who I am.
Part of who you are. But if you were to go to a party on a Friday night, what's on the stereo that would maybe be an influence on your music?
I love Delta blues as well.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Muddy Waters. A little Highland Wolf, and I get into a little bit of funkadelic. George Clinton, P Funk. I love Stevie
Well,
Wonder.
let's just take a moment
You
to
know?
look at what's on your T-shirt. I mean, get your groove
Get your
on.
groove
I
on,
mean,
baby.
there's your George Clinton and yeah.
So I mean, I like other music, and I like modern blues. I love Chicago blues. I love Texas blues. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I listen to a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And also Mr. Buddy Guy. I listen to a little bit of that. But when that's not where I come from, you know. And where I come from is the hills of Mississippi. North Mississippi, hill country. And so I came up with Junior Kimbrough and my big daddy R.L. Burnside, Jesse May Hitfield, and Oda Turner. That's where I come from. And so that's where my heart is kind of rooted at.
And really, you came up as a kid in the juke joints, really.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot of people have their preconceived ideas of what a juke joint in Mississippi is like. But maybe when you started going down there, what was like 10, 11 years old, something like that?
Yeah, I was in a juke joint at age 10.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're behind a drum kit at this point already?
I was behind a drum kit.
Playing with your grandfather, RL,
Junior
with
Kimbrough.
Junior.
Yeah. Just about anybody who came in and played and needed a drummer.
So you're sat behind the drum kit, 10 years old. Explain to us the view that we would have seen in front of us.
Oh, wow, man.
Or is
it's quite
suitable?
amazing. It's quite amazing and maybe just a tad bit scary, You just see people dancing to the rhythm. You see women, dropping it like it's hot, Oh, they was doing it back then. You see people come in from work, if they work at a auto place, you see them come in, oil might be all over their face, oil might be all over their clothes. They leave work and come straight to the juke joint, That's how much the blues meant to them, the hill country blues meant to them. It was like medicine for them. They had to have it, And but that's what you would see. You would see a bunch of moonshine around, people sipping a little moonshine, passing it around, They cooked, a few hamburgers and chicken wings. Not much, but what they had, they always, made it for somebody can eat a little bit of something as they enjoy music, But that's what you see. It was a regular little building.
Are you talking about Junior's place in particular?
Yeah, Junior's place in particular. You'll see little cracks in the wall.
Well, you're drumming. I imagine the cracks are getting bigger and bigger as you go as well.
But yeah, man, they used to hide me and my uncle Gary Burnside. He was about 12 years old at the time, playing bass, and I was about 10 playing drums. And when the police come to, inspect the place, they would hide us behind the beer cooler.
Really?
Because, a lot of times the bass player wouldn't show up or the drummer wouldn't show up. And we would be sort of like the backup guys in case they didn't show up, And it happened a lot. So they would hide us behind the beer cooler and, until the police leave, because if they sent us home, then wouldn't be no band, But yeah, those are things you probably would have saw.
So we can't really scoot over this point, but a short while ago you did in this very room, a version of Skinny Woman by your grandfather, R.R. Burnside. And those songs must be the first pieces of music, if you like, that you ever remember hearing, really, as like, 5, 6, 7 years old, your earliest memories. So, this is about your album, but I don't think we can have this discussion without talking about RL a little bit, at least, and I hope you don't mind me bringing that up.
No, it's all good, man.
Can you maybe explain to us, when you were 6 or 7, how you started just kind of hearing what he was doing? It's like, well, maybe I could have a bit of that, or maybe I can get on the guitar, and your earliest memories of either playing with him or hearing him.
Well, I have to say, my earliest memories was, I was very young, 6, 7 years old. And my big daddy used to throw house parties. And he would do this every other weekend. And we was in this little 4-room shack house.
In Holly Springs, is this?
In Holly, on the outskirts of Holly Springs, a little town called Chulahoma. He just used to practice around the house, just sitting in the bedroom or sitting out on the porch and practicing his guitar.
Yeah.
And, one of many grandkids, I would sit there and just watch him in amazement, And when the house parties, start going on, I would be even in more amazed because it'd be my big daddy and my dad playing drums, my uncles. So all of them would play together, as a band. And I was always that kid that's sitting there like in amazement. And just sitting there watching them at 6, 7 years old, I knew right then that I wanted to play this music for the rest of my life. You know, without a doubt, this is what I was going to do.
Sounds like the best party ever. Is there still that same community kind of vibe? And are there still those parties going on?
It's still there, man. You know, that's pretty much the thing. It's not many juke joints anymore in Holly Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then, you know, somebody will open up one, but they can't seem to keep it open. But there's a lot of house parties. You know, that's pretty much the thing. You know, people still do the house parties in Mississippi. It's part of what makes Mississippi, Mississippi. You know, in the hill country. RL boys love him to death, man. He stays in Como, Mississippi. And anytime you want to go to a house party, if there's nothing going on, go to RL boy's house.
Really?
I don't care if you go there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Something is going to go on.
He's
you
a
pull up in
character.
his yard, in about 30 minutes, he'll have 30, 40 people in the yard, and you'll have a house party.
He's a character. He's come and played at Blues Kitchen a couple of times.
Yeah,
I think he's coming back.
I love that guy, man.
Big fan. Very cool. I reckon it's time for some music, if that's all right.
Oh, yes.
If you'd be good enough to introduce your performance.
All right. Well, Cedric Burnside, Brian J. This is sung by my Big Daddy, Skinny Woman, his version, and we're going to play it for you today.
Subscribe to The Blues Kitchen for live performances and interviews with the hottest blues, soul, country and roots musicians in the world today.
Please tell me, babe.